you guys? Today we're in a 2009 Mini Cooper S with the turbo, not the supercharger, and this weighs 2,600 pounds and has a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. The Mini Cooper has a dear place in my heart because it was one of the first cars I was around a lot when I got into cars. My friends Matt and Ian both had the supercharged versions with a pulley, and they stanced it out and everything to try and be trendy and all that good stuff. And they were a lot of fun. What I love about the interior of the Mini is this giant speedometer in the middle that's so unnecessary, but they have it just to let your passenger know that you're doing something really scary. And then in the center is your tachometer directly in front of you, and right under it is a digital speedo. So speed is like the minimal thing you need to worry about when you're the driver. You're just looking at the tachometer and your RPMs. Because if you're revving this thing out, you want to know where you are for the next gear, especially if you're autocrossing or on a track. He also has a glow shift boost gauge right here on our left, and this pushes 12 psi as we said before, and 240 horsepower. This is surprisingly roomy in this car, but the thing is that there's no back seat, so that's a big part of it. As somebody who's average height, somebody who is taller than me can definitely drive this car. I know there's a lot of really tall people who own Mini Coopers, and it's like the biggest oxymoron when you say that tall guy owns a Mini Cooper. But it's because it actually is very spacious inside. It is more spacious than the Abarth, and it is more spacious than a smart car, obviously. But this is so much more like driver-oriented than those cars because it's a BMW at the end of the day. The classic Minis were their own brand, but BMW came along later, bought out the brand, and then did their own variation on it. And these cars have been made for a really long time now. This Mini platform has been out like almost 20-something years, I believe. Easy to see how they've progressed over the years with the John Cooper works, from the supercharger to the turbocharger and all kinds of stuff. But another thing I want to talk about, if you've ever thought about buying one of these, is their value drops really fast. And the reason I say that is you could get a brand new, say, John Cooper works for thousands of dollars, and then 2 years later it'd be 25. These are awesome used cars to buy because as a daily driver, it's great. It's fairly quiet on the highway and gets 26 miles to the gallon on the highway. And it handles awesome, has a good stance, and has a cool look to it. So what more do you want? The driving position in the Mini Cooper is kind of a weird sensation because you're very low to the ground, but it has this like SUV shaped roof. So it's kind of an oxymoron. Usually you're used to like a really slick, low visibility sports car if you're this low to the ground. But your visibility is so good because it's almost just all glass. You have this kind of sensation of driving a really, really fast, little tiny SUV car. Also, it has a diverter valve that recirculates, so you can get a little bit more boost with an upgraded spring. One thing though is these wheels and tires occasionally on a bump do hit the fender wall, but it's nothing too crazy. It's nothing to get really upset about or be scared of. It's just you gotta know it's there. So if you hear that thunk, that's exactly what it is. Also, if a rock or something hits these cars, especially with these flat windshields, it's like a gunshot because there's no slanted windshield. It's a very straight up and down windshield, so if a rock hits it dead on, it's a really loud sound. Sounds like a tractor, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just think it has a really unique sound. But I do like the backfires that these car makes. When you downshift and let it go, it sounds awesome. Will it hook in first? No. Oh. Every divot in the road it catches. But you know what? Torque steer was very controllable. That did not scare me at all. It was nothing like, say, a Mazda Speed 3. Mazda Speed 3, you might as well be off the road if you don't know what you're doing. It's like, it's really numb because I think with the tinier tires than, say, a more modern car nowadays, it's not as bad when you hit a divot in the road or anything, but you still do get that kind of floaty feeling at first. The wheels on this car are only 12 pounds, which in an already light car is even more light, which is great. But these wheels are actually made for a Miata. So if you have a Mini Cooper out there and you're struggling to find wheels, go look for Miata wheels of the same size. I feel like with a lot of small cars you can interchange, which is always like funny to me, especially with the Miata in this, because Japanese, German, it's like not even the same measuring and everything. It's crazy. Yeah, the turbo one is a much more linear power band. The supercharged one hits you like, it just kicks you in the nuts. Hits you really hard, really fast, but you don't have the top end. This is the complete opposite. This spools up and then you get the top end. So it's a lot of fun. You can merge onto the highway just fine. You can go around corners just fine. Everything is just fine in the Mini Cooper, because there's a reason why these have stuck around for so long, is because there's such a huge cult following for the Mini Cooper. Like, I know entire families who have Mini Coopers because it's just what they love. It's like, why would we change platforms when it's, you know, what we know and what we love? The boost a little bit. It's awesome. But with those pops and gurgles I was talking about, wow, it's fighting for traction. In the 2009 models, for example, there's really not that many pops and gurgles. That was more of the supercharged version. In the supercharged version, man, that was obnoxious. You'd get into the throttle, let it off, and then it would just be like a thunderstorm of sounds. But then they just cut it out. I guess they thought it was just too obnoxious, but that's sad. I don't think you go around town in a Mini Cooper thinking, oh man, I can't be obnoxious. I will say though, in the limited time I've been driving this so far, the car does just love to go. I can feel that when I get into the throttle a little bit, it just wants to keep going, and it rewards you for that, because with the front wheel drive, you can just push through a corner with the throttle and make corrections as you go. And it's so direct though. Like, it's laughably direct when you turn a Mini Cooper. It's just literally a modern go-kart you can buy, drive on the street. That's what it feels like. Oh yeah. Every time that diverter valve is awesome. So the car also has Megan Racing coilovers on it, so it gives it even more of a nice stance. You can lower it, give it better handling. There's zero body roll in this car. Like, there's no instance where you go around a corner and you start feeling like squishy, ever. It's just straight flat, flat, flat. So I see why so many people use these as autocross and track platforms, because it just works. I mean, you have such a short wheelbase, it's a lightweight car, and you don't need that much horsepower to be fast. It makes perfect sense. It just goes, it goes, it goes. It also has rear carbon fiber sway bars, and up front is an aluminum sway bar. Sway bars for these cars really help give it that stout feeling going around corners, because my friend Matt one time was installing it, and he was like, man, like, my Mini it's almost there. Like, I love how it handles, but it's almost there. Then he put the sway bars on it, didn't touch the suspension ever again. He was like, it's perfect, don't ever touch it. So we also have full callus exhaust with a muffler at the end, so it really helps it not drone. Other than that, it's pretty loud, but not loud enough to be like really annoying. See, I can have a conversation still, but I just have to raise my voice. Use your man voice, whatever that means. So basically, it's almost a straight pipe. You get so many nice noises with the pipe, so it doesn't even matter. Dampening in the front, you know, all the way set, but the back is a little bit stiffer. But if you go into sport mode in this car, the steering gets stiffer, and out of all things, the clutch gets stiffer. And at first I was like, that seems kind of weird. Don't you want kind of a light clutch? But not really. I love heavy clutches, so it makes sense that you have a little bit more aggression if you're, you know, in it to win it. Heavier clutch makes sense. I feel like I'm the Italian job stealing some gold. One thing that I really like about this is the short shifter in this car, and the stock Mini shifter I have felt before, and it's pretty stout, but this short shifter is so much better. It's much closer to the feel of like an S2000, if that makes sense, which in my opinion is like the best shifter ever made. But I mean, it's so easy to just drop a gear, and it's just a notchy bolt. It almost feels like a gated shifter. You can't see it, but it feels like a gated shifter, because he took out the shifter boot, so there's just like this piece of something right there, plastic, and that's it. But it feels really nice. Never doubt when you're in gear, which is nice. However, the reverse has a lockout, but Steven occasionally has accidentally gotten to reverse at stoplights and almost hit somebody who was behind him. The turbo gives you that sensation of, you know, building that horsepower. It's actually a very flat linear PSI 2,000 RPM, you're already at 12 pounds of boost, and it stays there. And if you hit overboost, I know, such a shame if you hit overboost, it hits 16 pounds of boost. So today, when I knew that I was going to be driving a Mini Cooper S in the rain, I was kind of concerned. Not that I was going to kill myself or anything, but that it might just spin the whole time. Like, that would suck if the entire review was, oh look, I'm not going anywhere. But the car handled great. Had traction up front. I was really surprised. So if that's another concern for the front wheel drive, if it spins too much, don't even think about that. It's fine. All right, you guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this quick little review video. I know I had a fantastic time driving this Mini Cooper. Brings back a lot of good memories. And what do you guys think about the Mini Cooper? I personally think it is a great car with a good legacy, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a fantastic day.